And my Ghani garden here, these ones in particular, they grow really well. Hey, what's up, Reefers? I'm Reefer Matt. This is the March update video. I have a coral show on Sunday, so that's why this video is coming out on Saturday rather than the usual Sunday. I'll put the info on the screen here for you if you want to come out and see me. It's in Ann Arbor if you're in the area, Ann Arbor, Michigan. It is from 11 to 3:30, and I hope to see you there. So I'm going to try to do this video uncut and see what happens because I have a lot to do, obviously, so let's give it a try and see what happens here. Okay, so maybe it's not completely uncut video, but I had to switch my camera screen over. So this is the 75-gallon SBS tank. I just did an update video on this the other day. I'll put a link at the top here for you if you haven't seen it. Go ahead and check it out. Things are going very good in this tank still. The color is really coming back, and it's starting to grow back where I had STN. The acros are actually starting to grow over, as you can see there, so that's real nice. I'm real happy to see that. I also put a little digi back there, a little forest fire. So yeah, things are going pretty good. I didn't have as much depth as I thought in the tank, but obviously it was the salt mix. So luckily I changed it before I had some real big issues. So I am just going to stay with the reef crystals and just keep up on my water changes. But the coral in here are doing good. The fish are doing really good. I just fed them. I feed them flake food. And then they get some nori, obviously, on the nori clip there. So these guys are all fat and happy. And this tank's doing really good. I have not tested my parameters yet because this is Friday. I usually test it on Saturday. So as you're watching this, I'm probably testing my parameters right now. I'll give you a little top-down view here, though. Alexa, turn off tank 1.
Starting feed cycle C.
That's how I turn my tanks off individually. I have it hooked up to the Amazon Echo Dot that goes to my Apex. So all of my tanks are voice controlled, which is really nice. And then when I want to do a feeding cycle, I can turn them all off at once, except for Puffy's tank over here, which we'll get to in a minute. That one is not hooked up to the Apex yet. Maybe someday I will. But here's a little top down. As you can see, things are doing really good from up here too. Especially this yellow tip. Look at that. This yellow tip's starting to grow up pretty good. That's a cool coral. I really like that. Thanks again, Mike. That's an awesome coral there. And this acropora down here, I'm starting to get, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm starting to get little purple tips on that one. I was wondering what it was going to do because before it was just green and then brown because it was being covered up. So now that it's getting some light finally, it's starting to change color. So that'll be cool to see what happens with that. This acropora back here is starting to get its color back. See, it's greening up. So that was more of a green and a purple one there. So it'll be cool when that gets back. And you see there's that Bacillopora. I keep trying to prune that out when it gets too big in certain spots, but obviously it pops up in others, but not too bad on this one. And lots and lots of 24K Leptocerus, which is really bright and colorful. It's one of my favorite coral. And there's the little battle corals, Efflo. It's still a frag size. For some reason, I don't have good luck with battle corals. I don't know if we're just off on our parameters or whatever, but he does have real nice SBS coral. However, for me, they just don't do too well. Here's a top view of that one coral I was talking about. That's, if I can focus in on it, that was growing back over the STN. You can see there it's growing back. The Walt Disney never missed a beat. It's looking a little green right now, but towards the end of the night when the lights change and go a little bluer, the purples and that come out. And then I still have some Montipora setosa here, which is cool. That's one of the original coral in the tank. Some more Leptocerus. And this green slimer back here, it had an STN patch going on, as you can see there, but it did stop, so it's not spreading. And the polyps are out now. So that's really cool that that's coming back, and I'm sure it'll grow back over that in no time soon. Or no time at all, I mean. This down here, I'm not too worried about that. That was a different Montipora, but these guys are growing over it, so they'll just continue to grow over it, and I'll try to trim it back because it's really close to the glass. And you can see my little brittle star down there. The kids named him Nightmare. There's Sarge right there, the Sergeant Major damselfish, and the purple tank if I can catch them. So everything in here is doing good. I'm just going to keep up on my water changes and that, and I am not going to change it again. So lesson learned, I'm not going to mess with success. So let's move on to Puffy's tank. Alexa, turn on tank 1.
I've stopped feed cycle.
So it'll turn the tank back on, and I can just walk away. And this is the 135-gallon Fowler tank, 135 gallons. These are some big boys in here, especially Leonidas. He's pretty close to a foot long. Finn is getting huge. Check Finn out. He is going to be a big boy too. He's probably about, I'd say 7 to 8 inches long now, and every bit of 4 to 5 inches wide, you know, from the bottom to the top. So he's going to be a big fish too, and he eats like a piggy. He eats anything that I put in there for the other fish. He just tries to, you know, act like he's the boss, and he'll grunt at everybody, but really not too bad. He doesn't hurt them or anything. There's the birdfish there. I still haven't named them yet. And Brownie, the bicolor fox face, or the Fiji fox face, they're all doing cool. I got to clean the glass again. I do it like once every month or two because the fox face will graze on it a little bit, and so will Finn. There's the Huma Huma trigger. Bandit. And where's Puffy? There's Puffy. Big Puffs, he's my buddy. He's the original fish in the tank. And someday I'll do a video on him because dog-faced puffers are awesome. He's my favorite fish. So this tank's doing good. I just do a water change every once in a while to kind of help out with the algae, but the fish keep it pretty clean. So I just fed them too. And every fish in here, but Leonidas, by the way, likes to eat nori. As you can see, the fox face is trying to get what's left, but even the puffers will eat nori too, which is pretty neat. So moving along, we'll go to the SBS frag tank, which is over here. Some of these I'll have at the swap on Sunday. This is where I keep my acro collection and any carryover from the 75-gallon SBS tank. And I got to put this rabbit fish here. I may put it in the 135. I just don't know how it'll get along with Finn and the other fox face in there. So I might try it, and if it don't work out, I'll bring them into the LFS because getting a little big for this tank. When I got him, he's a little smaller than that. But the coral in here are doing pretty good. I was having the same symptoms in this tank as I was in the 75 gallons, so that was another clue that it was the salt mix that was causing my issue, because I was also using it on this tank, and I was having pretty similar symptoms with Montipora dying, and I was getting a little bit of STN on some Acropora frags. And once I changed it back, everything went back to normal. So there must be something in it that my coral don't like. I don't know. I can also do a top down on this. All I got to say is, Alexa, turn off tank 3. And it'll turn this tank off. Maybe. Alexa, turn off tank 3.
Starting feed cycle B.
And it'll turn this tank off. So we look top down. That's Nemo's elegance coral over there. It's getting pretty big. I got that when it was just a little frag. And I guess he feeds it or something. I mean, I feed it too, but he lives in there. It's pretty cool. Now I got this turned off. This pink stylophora here is looking pretty good. It's finally growing out along with this one here. I think that's a rainbow stylo. So those are doing really good. This acro right here is nice and shaggy. I wish my focus would focus a little better on it, but that one's doing cool. And then this one here, it's just like a good example of a nice hardy acropora to grow out. You know, it's not like a big show-off coral, but it's something that just, you know, help you gain some confidence. That's my siphon over here breaking, by the way. I put a little siphon hole in that so that way I don't overflow my sump down here when I turn my water off. And I suggest doing that on your tanks if you haven't already. So getting back to the acropora, there's another one here that I'm trying to see. You can see it's kind of changed the color a little bit. I want to see what it's going to do. And I got some other miscellaneous frags in here that I'll be bringing with me on Sunday. Just different hardy SBS corals. Then over here is my Acropora collection, which some of these I do bring. And this coral right here is pretty cool. It's nice and shaggy. Those two right there. A little heavy on the green, but they're getting some color to them. Then this one's coloring up too. This one's got like orange and green and some purple in it. So it'll be really cool to see what that one does. There's another chunky one back there. So things are going good in here. That was actually from the 75-gallon SBS tank there, that Jedi Mind Trick. So just to give you an example, that was fading out when I did the water change with the other salt, and now it's coming back. So, but I do have reserves of most of the coral from the 75-gallon in here if things were to go south even more. But things are going good, and I just got to keep up with the water changes and keep my parameters in check. And that is the SBS frag tank. Alexa, turn on tank 3. And I'll turn that tank on. You can see these two are next to each other. It is turning on the light. Alexa, turn off tank 2.
Starting feed cycle B.
And here is the Softy frag tank. Well, mostly Softy anyway. I'm feeding this bounce mushroom right here. As you can see, it's closed up. I put some pellets in there. That bounce mushroom covers every bit of that, and that is about 4 inches. That's how big that bounce is. It's also got a little baby down there. I don't know if I can, yeah, you can see that where the foot's attaching there? That's going to be another baby. I got one right there. So it's pretty cool how they do that. They just kind of split a little piece of their foot off, and that's how the coral propagate from that one. I don't even have to cut it. It does it itself. Here's some cool shrooms that are coming with me, and toadstool leathers. Look at those. Nice and shaggy. They came off of this. So I got a whole bunch right here. These little baskets I made with my 3D printer really help propagate those and keep them in place. And then they attach to the frag plugs and they grow out. And I got some zoas in here. I'm going to get my zoa collection back up, but I'm going to share some of these and kind of do a little clearance on them for some of them that I've had for a while. And here's a cool couple coral here. Let me think. That one is, I'll come back to that one in a minute. Oh, lobophilia. Sorry, I was having a little moment there. And then a couple little button scullies, they call them. Those two will come with me to the show. Not the lobo just yet. I like having that one. I'm going to grow that one out. But lots of coral from the 75-gallon SPS tank in here. See how that bird's nest? I did a video on that. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll put it at the top of the screen here when I took that out. It was a little shorts video. And then that and the Spacillipora over here I took out when I had that little mini tank crash. So I took those out of the other tank to kind of help spruce it up. And they're in here for now. I got some little frags down there. I just do not have the energy right now to make a bunch of frags out of them, so they're just going to hang out in here. And then there is green Nepthia. And I got some frags down there that you've seen previously, so those will be going with me as well. But things are going pretty good in here too. This tank didn't really miss a beat with any of the water change water, because I'm assuming because it's softies. But I did put these in there later after I changed the water. Like I did a change on all of my tanks when that happened, so I didn't have an issue, but I didn't notice anything before that with the softies. And there is Nemo, who's a butthead, likes to bite my hands. There was a little fox face there, but so that's the Softy frag tank. I used to call it the Softy frag tank, but they're all kind of mixed now. And then my last frag tank is over here. This is like my little coral station here, which is a mess. There's my saw back there and all the stuff I used to propagate coral. I got to clean that up because I got some frags. I got to make some last minute frags of some zoas and stuff. This tank's doing good. Alexa, turn on tank 2.
I've stopped feed cycle D.
This Elegance, for some reason, isn't opening as much as it was a few days ago. So I dipped it and inspected it. I didn't see anything on it. So I don't know. Maybe it's just having a moment. I did do a water change, so just to make sure that there's nothing off. Got some little frags back there, some Duncans, and lots of candy cane corals. And those are Acan Echinatas. Those are really cool. Look at those. And yeah, I got some hair algae. I'm trying to at least keep the frags clean for now, and then I'll address the racks once I get the frags off the racks. And look at that Fabia back there just wanting to touch somebody. Look at that. See all those little sweepers there in the back? That's why I don't keep anything around there, because you'll know they'll sting the crap out of some coral. There's another Duncan back there. That's the parent colony of these over here in the back. That's a branching colony. And there's some other miscellaneous, some more button scolies. Oh, and I got these acans here too. But got a couple torches. Be bringing some of those with me. And lots of hammers and frog spawns. And I'm going to be bringing probably things like this too, some bigger colony Fabias. And then I got lots of clove polyps that are doing really well. I never used to have luck with clove polyps until I put them in this tank, so I'm going to keep doing that because I like clove polyps. I like to look at them. And my Ghani garden here, these ones in particular, they grow really well, but then when I bring them to the show, they just close right up and they don't open the entire show. That's what they look like. So if you go to the show and you see something not open, it's probably those. But they look really nice. And then I got some more zoas here that I'm growing out. These ones right here, and the Fruit Loops, these are the Rainbow Hornets. Those are some of my favorites there, the old school ones, the Tutti Fruities and that. Those are the kind I like, the old school ones that grow really good. So I gotta get back into that because I like zoas just as much as I do acros and stuff. And I got some little chalices and stuff back there. So yeah, things are going pretty good in here. This tank is on all for Reef too, so I think that helps. I just got to keep up on keeping it clean. I put an urchin in here the other day, so he's supposed to help with the algae. We'll see how he does. And then one last thing. Hopefully I haven't bored you yet. Let me turn my light on real quick. There we go. So I got this tank right here fired up. That's going to be my QT tank. But I've always had these tanks as QT tanks, quarantine tanks. I highly recommend you get at least one if you can. Let me take my lens off. There we go. But go ahead and guess what you think I'm going to put in here. I just added sand today, so that's why it's cloudy. But that's your clue, is that there's sand in there. So sand is required. There's some rock in there. So what do you think is going to go in there? Because this is going to be like a permanent home for some critter that I'm going to get from Senior Minties at the frag show on Sunday in Ann Arbor, which I highly recommend you go see, by the way. He has a lot of cool stuff. But go ahead and guess what you think I'm going to put in there. Put it in the comments down below, and I'll have an update video in about a week or two, and I'll show you what's going in here. So hopefully you guessed right. All right, well, that'll do it for this video, guys. I got a lot of work to do, and I hope to see you at the show if you're in the area. I'm Reefer Matt. Thank you for watching, and happy reefing.